Hello. We're going to, I had prepared one thing, a workshop that would work for this number of people. Then I was told I had 75. Then I think of something else because with 75, it wouldn't work. And now I don't have 75. I have fewer people. So I'm thinking of changing the strategy. So teachers like this, right? You have to all the time change your strategy. Okay, so let's see what we're going to do. The job interview in English is a job interview. Here in Brazil, basically they want to know if when you write on your resume, oh, I speak English, or what's your level of English, intermediate, upper intermediate, or fluent, if you are telling the truth, right? Okay, so what we can do is think about the process and prepare yourself, all right? So I have some copies, some material, and then afterwards, I'm going to show here, and we can do some role play and have some volunteers, and then I can email to you the material. Good evening, welcome. All right. So it's always difficult to do something new, to pass a job interview. You're being analyzed is difficult, even in Portuguese. Why? Because someone is analyzing you if you're good for the job. And if it's in another language, it's worse, right? So we really need to work on our confidence and be patient. Well, the good news is that we have a framework of types of questions and a vocabulary that you can work on. All right? So you can study those questions, practice, and you can pair up and say, I know it's an artificial, I know that, but you can do it. So ask a friend, oh, she's an English teacher, or she speaks well. Can you practice with me? Ask those questions and I answer, and you can correct me, okay? Because you really have to think about yourself and use those words. So let's see. All right, here is what I was talking about before. Hello, good evening, come in. As I was saying, for those who arrived earlier, we have a language school at Mackenzie. It's called Mackenzie Language Center, all right? And we have English, French, German, Italian, and also Portuguese for foreigners, and we have business, English for business, okay? So when you have an upper intermediate level, you can study English for business, okay? Identify the typical interview process. So you have different types of job interview process, okay? So used to be there, face-to-face was the most common, but everything after the pandemics has changed a little bit. Yeah, so phone interview is a little bit more difficult because you don't see the person, you don't see the articulation, right? So this kind of, you have to practice. It's difficult for you to, you get caught by surprise, and then you really have to practice this, right? Not to see the person and talk in English, okay? And video conference interview, you said you did on video conference, right? Yeah. And seeing the person, it's easier because you can see the person. We're used to analyze and watching the mouse, we don't, maybe you don't realize, but we do that, right? Any person interview, all right, and sometimes group interview. So then you have to relate to not only to the interviewer, but to other people. And then you have to deal with other levels of English, other accents, all right? Yes, you get me? Not really, that's it. De qualquer forma, para a gente ter um aproveitamento deste momento, independente do nível de inglês que vocês tiverem, dá para estudar, praticar com esse frame que eu vou deixar para vocês com as perguntas com o vocabulário. Right? Como eu disse, tem o material, tem algumas cópias aqui e deixando o e-mail eu mando para vocês. Então, lunch interview, presentation interview, presentation interview, they just give you a topic, they give you a theme, and then you have to give a pitch, all right, a speech, all right, elevator speech, to say something very quickly, 5 minutes, present yourself with no questions or maybe some questions, right? Then you have time to prepare. All right, so you have to really, I think this is something that I have to, okay, so you have to get to know yourself in Portuguese and in English, and then prepare the vocabulary, all right? So we're going to make a list of words for you to know your strongest skills, greatest areas of knowledge, okay? Greatest personality strengths, okay? Things I do best, key accomplishments, greatest areas of improvement. All right. This is a frame. Oh, this is bothering me. I all see it. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, so we have tell me about yourself questions, all right? We have goals questions, why questions, strengths and weaknesses questions. Tell me about a time when, complete. What's your name again? You can make it up. No, just kidding. Your name.
My name is
Amanda. Complete this question. Tell me about a time the interviewer may ask. Tell me about a time you had to make because it's a frame, right? If you were an interviewer, how would you complete this sentence? It's a frame. Tell me about a time when
you had to solve a problem.
Exactly. You had to solve a problem. You had to deal with a difficult colleague. You had to. So see, it's a frame, and the interviewer is going to complete. Tell me about a time when you had to make a tough decision. You had to deal with a difficult colleague. You had to. So tell me about a time, and then. I don't remember. Oh, I never had to make a difficult decision. I'm 20 years old and I never had a difficult decision. My life is so easy. It's not, like, okay, then the interview, like, When you had to deal with a difficult person, colleague. Oh no, I love all my colleagues. They are wonderful. I never had. So, all right. Culture questions. Resume, case. What would you do if, and then, all right. So those are frame questions. So we're going to see some examples of these categories, and you can study and think about, you can think about in Portuguese because you're going to use them in Portuguese. Have you experienced those questions in interviews in Português? Imagino que vocês tenham passado, quem não passou por entrevista em inglês e em português. It's hard, isn't it? Não, professor, é muito fácil, imagina, a gente lembra, não é nem um pouquinho estressante. Difícil, não é? A gente lembrar das situações. Você está naquele momento, assim, de pressão, de estresse, de ter que lembrar do exemplo, de... E quando chega na tal da... Fale-me sobre seus pontos fortes, seus pontos fracos, né? Então, tell me about yourself questions. Okay. What is the purpose of your... of this question? Tell me about what is the purpose, do you think? To know the person, what would you say? Like, what are the main line track, main thought you should
give your strength points about yourself?
You would start with your strengths. If I tell, why don't you start by telling me a little bit about yourself? How would we start? Why don't you start by telling me a little bit about yourself, Amanda?
I think I talk about my experience of life. During my childhood.
Amanda, come here. Come. Let's. Do we have a volunteer? It's a workshop, guys. Work. Do you know workshop? Work. We have to work. Atelier. Oficina. Are you shy? Eu dou um pirulito para quem quer. It's true. No?
Okay, I can.
Oh, she loves lollipop. Ok. Você quer se preparar para ficar de pé?
I think.
Yeah?
Eu fico sentada e fico de costas.
Fica de costas?
Não,
Pode cantar um show aqui, fazer light. Vamos lá. Posso te até um papel para você. A gente fingir que tá lendo. Peraí. Então,
Vou desmaiar.
desmaiar, não. Peraí, que eu tô novinha. Peraí. Vamos lá. Deixa eu pegar o atual. I already like Amanda so much. Amanda, why don't you start telling me a little bit about yourself?
Nervous. So my name is Amanda. I'm 21 years old. So I'm from Arujá.
No kidding. I'm from Arujá.
Really?
I have a house in Arujá. See, we can start with a small talk. So I spend my weekends in Arujá. Do you live in the condominiums?
No part.
Del Parque? Oh, okay. No, I have a countryside house there.
But I live there.
Yes, you come every day to São Paulo? Wow, what a small world.
Yes.
In what college did you, in what school did you study?
I studied in CENTRO.
Ah, okay, all right. Because I taught at IP Amarelo when I was very young. Do you know IP Amarelo? Oh, my BFF. That's such a small world. Okay.
Yeah, so I live with my parents and my sister, and we have a dog. So I studied English since 2013 or 14. not wrong. And I finished this on 2017. And after I just continued studying by myself. And before I started studying here, I was trying to do medicine. I studied 3 years, but I couldn't pass. So during the pandemic, I changed my preferences and I started to work. And then after this, now I'm working with business, but I started to give English classes too during the pandemic. But now, because of technology, I needed to stop. And then I did it.
Okay, let's take a minute here for a second. Of course, she doesn't know for what company she's interviewing for. But let's suppose it's if it's a English school, she can talk about. She could say those things that she said, that she has studied. She has studied English for so long, and she has graduated and all that. But if it's for a business company or something like that, then she wouldn't say those things because it's not aligned with the company. She would have to say that she's an undergraduate student at Mackenzie, studying international trade. So I am an undergraduate student at Mackenzie. I study international trade and preparing myself for such and such. Why? Because, of course, she doesn't know, but looking at the position, you know, a general position, then otherwise, especially the medicine thing, you will have to figure out, you know, and let it go. Amanda, let it go. Okay, say with me. I'm over it. Repeat with me. I'm over it. Okay? You didn't pass, forget it. Now, let's move on. All right? Forget medicine. Forget those 3 years of your life. Let's move on. Yeah, now you want international trade business, so don't mention it. If someone, why did you do those 3 years of your life? That doesn't, they don't appear here. I studied English because you studied something, right? You studied English, so when you stopped, when you have a gap in your life, for example, she studied 3 years for medicine, she didn't pass. But you're not going to, oh, I wanted to be a doctor, I couldn't, so I'm here now. No, because they don't want a professional like this, right? It's okay. So, no,
during these 3 times, I also studied business too.
Yes, so, yeah, you switch, you focus on the positive things you've done, and you stress your accomplishments. All right. So when they say, why don't you start by telling me a little bit more about you? You can, since all of you are studying at university, you can start by that. I'm an undergraduate student at Mackenzie University, which is a very good thing. Yeah, I study business, economics, international trade. All right. And and the other things you're doing. Okay, all right. So you can start by your professional life. All right, of course, my name, I'm 21 years old, and I'm an undergraduate student, and I also study English, French, German. Okay, you can start by that. Thank you very much, Amanda. All right. So this answer, the answer to this question is to showcase your strengths, motivation, and fit for the company and job. So do you understand why I had to make a comment to adjust her answer? because I want her to show her strengths. For example, oh, English is her strength. Yes, and if she studied business, so she has to adjust her answer to motivate the interviewer, right? So that's why you really have to know about the company study before you go to the job interview. So now the answer. I'm currently, as a part of this role, I do, if you are changing jobs, right? I'd love to highlight that I also teach English, or I'm a private teacher, or whatever you do. Prior to that, I was, as part of this role, I did. Additionally, I'm leaving for my current role because of, and I'm excited about this opportunity because, okay, then you can feel free to take pictures, but as I said, I can send you the material, all right? Just write me, reminding me, okay? Framework to answers, okay? We have this 3 rule. That means you can give 3 reasons, 3 steps, 3, all right? So 3 main requirements from the job description, highlight 3 projects. I don't know where this come from. It wasn't there, it appeared. I think it was voodoo from those guys. And your story by highlighting additionally why this company or why this job, right? And all this is good because you can study, you can prepare yourself with the language. I'm currently a student at Mackenzie University majoring. A gente não tem esse conceito no Brasil, né? Mas tem lá fora, então, que eles têm major e minor. Eles podem fazer 2 cursos. Então, por exemplo, a minha prima tem major, e é meio louco isso, porque ela tem major em business e minor em psychology. What? E isso quer dizer que ela fez um tanto de créditos que permite ter um minor em psychology. Não pode clinicar, mas pode fazer algumas coisas. Então, but here it doesn't work like that. So your major is in business or international trade or economics. Mas, por exemplo, depois, when you finish business, you can get a degree in accounting within a year. Vocês sabiam disso, né? Vocês terminam a administração, a economia, volta para fazer 1 ano. Eu acho que 1 ano vocês conseguem um diploma de contabilidade. If I'm not mistaken, right? As far of studies, I have done a project okay, I'd love to highlight. E aí, you memorize the frame and you use the frame to have a speech, a well prepared speech, okay? Why questions? Why this job? Why this role? Okay? They will be asked, no doubt, by the recruiter in your first phone screen or interview, okay, by the hiring manager when you speak to him. Maybe the interview in English won't be so long, so detailed, if it's only to check your level of English. Many companies nowadays ask you to take an online test. Then you have to go online and take a very long test. Anyone here has taken one of those? Who said yes? It's very tiring, right? Boring, tiring, difficult, right? No, you didn't find it? And then you have to take 1 or 2. Sometimes they ask you separate 2 hours or more for the test. And then they only call you if you do well on this first written and reading and listening text, okay? Okay. Use the rule of three, as I was saying, probably one of the oldest rules, okay? Give exactly 3 points when answering the questions. Talk about the company, talk about the role. If they ask you, why did you choose this company? Why did you choose this role? And then you can, as you researched before, you can talk about the company. Why did you choose Procter & Gamble? Why did you choose JP Morgan? Talk about the role, the position, about the culture and the values. So every company, they have a mission, vision, and values. Sometimes people forget to go and read and study. All right. So if you look at Mackenzie, you have to know that Mackenzie is a Presbyterian university. So there's a very specific vision, mission, values. All right, as a religious institution. So if you want to work here, you must know that there's a particular view of things, all right? And the companies in general, if you have to know if they think the ecological part of is things and recycling and all that is very important or not so important, all right? Goals questions. When they ask about your short-term goals and long-term goals, of course, you must consider the company, but if you're talking about your career, it's not only that that company is your career, and of course, you have to align the goals, right? That's why, I'm sorry, may I use it was so perfect. If the company is trading company and you're talking about medicine, or if I still feel that there's a chance you still want to be a doctor, it's not for me, it's not for my company, you know? Or if you want to be an English teacher, maybe I don't want to hire you because you want to be an English teacher and I want to train someone to work for me. And I want to invest in someone that is going to stay in my company. So talk about your career as an English teacher. If it's aligned with if it's a school, you know, you can see it's very important, your level of English, but not as a career if you're applying for a job in a trading company. If you're applying, and I know exactly what you're going through because I've worked in other jobs and I've done all sort of things. So I used to have many CVs, one for teacher, one for assistant bilingual, one for translator, one for, so this job, I have to use this CV. For this company, I have to use this CV, you know, for this, I don't want them to know that I've done all those sort of things, that I've changed so many times of jobs. You have to, vocês podem ter vários CVs e controlar e administrar o que te interessa que a empresa saiba. Se você, às vezes não é tão interessante que a empresa saiba que você mudou tantas vezes de emprego ou de, né? Porque, hello, come in. Because I'm an English teacher, I'm a French teacher. So I invested in English and I invested in French. And sometimes it was good for me to show that, but sometimes not so good to show that. Because they would think that I was divided, you know? So then you have to be smart about those things. Okay, we can't miss that tip. That's a very tough one, okay? Strengths and weaknesses. You can give 3 strengths three weaknesses, all right? You can be honest, but not too honest. And you have to talk about your professional life, not personal life. I like to sleep a lot. I like sleeping. I'm lazy. No, you have to talk about work. For example, micromanaging, okay, multitasking. So, and the secret is what have you been doing to overcome your weakness? Então, tanto na entrevista em português, né, quanto em inglês, fale dos seus pontos fortes e pontos fracos no âmbito profissional. Não é, bom, esqueça que eu sou perfeccionista, isso não, né? Mas eu tendo a fazer muitas coisas, né, ao mesmo tempo, e daí, ou então, ser centralizadora, alright? Eu não consigo delegar, isso é do âmbito profissional. Immediately, what are you doing? But, since I'm aware of that, I talk to my colleagues to help me distribute the tasks, So, immediately, you think of what are you doing to work on that. I tend to be a little bit shy on concerning my colleagues, but I already told them that they can count on me for work. So if you're shy, if you're outgoing, you have to be aware of your weaknesses, strengths, and think, how can I be better at what I do? Ideas. No, not at all. Hã? Nenhuma, nada. Não surgiu nada. Nenhuma pergunta, nenhum. Fez nem cocinha. Blank, total. Não? Nossa. Comments.
What did you ask?
Ideas, comments, questions. All this what we're talking about, weaknesses, strengths. Falei alguma coisa? Por favor.
Is it a good idea to disguise a strength as a
Not really. No, not really. For example, give me the example. Let me see.
work hard or
No, no, it's not. For example, I'm perfectionist. That's not a weakness. That's not. If you are, what that could bring. Let's think. It could make you stressed and could make you treat badly your colleagues, or it could make you short-tempered. That's a weakness, right? I'm short-tempered because I want everything my way. That's a weakness, right? I want everything my way, then, but not that you want everything perfect. So, I tend to micromanage things. Then sometimes it can take longer than it should for you to accomplish a task. But then how are you trying to solve that? I talk to my colleagues to alert me or to help me. When I'm doing that, they can talk to me, feel free to let me know if I'm doing that, or I'm getting counseling, coaching I'm working on it. If you show the interviewer that you're aware and you're working on it, it's good, it's okay. If you show that your person can be talked to, someone can get to you and say, look, it's not nice what you're doing, you know, let's do some in a different way. Do you agree? What else? Tá chegando em vocês a comunicação? Ou tá ficando no meu mundinho? Né? I work too hard. Okay. Okay, I have a strong leadership skill. And also, that's so interesting because I remember working with the first semester in communication. They have to, you guys have to write a CV. And then some students said, oh, I'm a very communicative person. And the student, and I am a very communicative person. And if a student of mine in a semester never talk to me, it's because the students are very, very not communicative, you know, like very shy and very closed up for business, closed up. It's like, what? Liar! Don't lie, please don't lie on your resume, you know? If you say, you don't have to say you're communicative. It's okay not to be communicative. You can say you're very analytical, you are a very centered person. For some reason, eu não sei porque as pessoas acham, um exemplo ali em algum, você vê que eles leram, sou uma pessoa comunicativa, e daí eu acho que usa de exemplo. If you're not communicative, don't say you are, because then people are expecting for you to be communicative. Okay? So don't lie. If you are a very shy, introverted person, it's okay. You have strengths. What are they? I'm very focused, centered. What else? Geralmente as pessoas mais tímidas, né? Elas costumam ser o quê? Mais centradas. Que mais? Eu não sei, porque eu não, brincadeira, o meu irmão, uma pessoa casada com ninguém, costuma ter uma atenção mais, né? Memória boa, uma atenção bem. O que mais? Alguém aqui pode falar? Dedicated, yes. And be good leaders. Good leaders. We think the opposite, but shy people, introverted, they are good leaders. Because they don't talk much. When they talk, everybody, oh, it's thinking, listen. Shh. Okay.
Yeah. So, for example, I'm very communicative, but to talk about the work.
Okay.
To talk about my personal life, I don't like to talk with my colleagues. So I thought that I'm personal or no. Because they say, oh my God, Amanda is speaking like this. Sometimes it's not about my life, about the job.
You are not extrovert, but you are a communicative. You don't have difficulties to communicate, right?
Yeah,
You're just introvert.
If there is a project, I will talk a lot about it. But for example, let's go. What did you do on the week?
Okay, you are reserved person. Okay, I understand. Yes, but you communicate easily, right? Okay. No, you can say you're a communicative person. Yes. But yeah. Tough one, Amanda. Interesting one. Yeah, but you're a reserved person, but communicative. Easy, you can communicate with people easily, right? You don't have difficulty to communicate with people, even if you don't know the person, right? Yes? Okay. Some people, when they don't know, they feel difficulty to communicate, so they prefer not to. It's difficult, it's hard. It's not your case, right? To work with new people. Okay, so for example, let's just get this example. We're almost done. I get distracted easily. Whenever I'm working at a particular job, I tend to get excited by tons of opportunities presented around me. So see, this is not good, but see, it's about work, about the job, and this person gets distracted, but he's not saying that he starts watching Netflix. Okay, the person gets distracted because he gets excited because about the opportunities presented about the task he's doing. All right, so it's about work and involving the work, and get distracted by the noise that is created around it. The noise is the opportunities there. So you have to get things done. If you get distracted by the, oh, I can do this, I can do that, I can do that, and if you don't decide and get done, it's like when you go out with friends and you spend the whole night deciding where to go and you don't go anywhere. You know what I mean? Yeah, and then you don't eat because you haven't decided. So I do recognize that this is the case, and I'm working hard on these. I've started getting very clear on my goals for the year and what I'd like to achieve. Then I pick projects that only directly affect these goals. This, I've learned, is a great way for me to keep focus. So I acknowledge my weakness, and I know that I have this problem, and I have a solution, a way to keep focus. All right? For example, the introverted person may say, I'm taking a theater class, okay, acting class. Micromanagement. As a manager, I've been giving constructive feedback that I tend to micromanage people at times. This is due to my ability to stay in control at all projects and ensure that it gets done. Over the past couple months, I've been taking leadership training and have been focusing on influencing my team to bring the best out of them rather than telling them what to do. So another example. Sample strengths: analytical, energetic, thinking outside the box. For example, flexible, good planner, persuasive, organized. Instead of saying perfectionist, organized, take initiative, enjoy learning new skills. I love learning new skills. Creative, decisive. I'm not decisive. I'm indecisive. This is terrible. Independent. I'm very dependent. Tell me, where do you see yourself? Speak up, speak up. Wake up. Wake up and speak up.
Prioritization, creativity, definite, respect.
Good, good. Come on, guys, this is so frustrating.
Good planner.
Good planner, good for you. I'm not, I'm a terrible planner.
Enjoy learning new skills.
That's so good, isn't it? One. Give me one. Analytical. Organized. Good for you. Excited. Good for you. Persistent. Ai, você não parei, vocês querem que eu pergunte para você, tá bom, vai. Você. Uau, você.
Mistake in flexible challenge.
Good. Você de shirt, blue shirt. Yeah? Wow. One more.
Not afraid of change.
Good, good. Flexible, okay. All right. Humor and fun to the team, anyone?
I think I can.
Uh-huh. Good. Let me see if I have another bank of words. I think I do have the bank. Ah, okay, the STAR STAR framework. The situation, goals, and action and results. Okay, situation. I'm a terrible planner. See, that I planned the whole thing, and now we have like 10 minutes. I start talking. Terrible planner. Situation, goals, action, and result. Specify the dramatic situation you came into. If you're going to think of a job interview, plan a situation. Talk about the goals that you intended to achieve. Talk about actions you took into the situation. Tell about a situation when you had to make a tough decision. Talk about the results that were achieved, right? Let me see if the banks of the negative, then we can have another. It's like a 3-hour workshop. We do another one for next semester, okay? Tell me about a time when you made a mistake. Tell me about a time when you failed. Tell me about a time you improperly analyzed the situation. Aí tem o espírito de porco lá. Tell me about a time when you were disappointed with yourself. Tell me about a time when you were unable to judge all your responsibilities. Those are tough questions, right? But you can, I'm going to send you this material. You can think about it, prepare your vocabulary, because those questions may pop up in an interview. It's not easy to remember those situations, and you might say, I can think of a specific situation right now, but, and then you can come up with something else, all right? The only thing you may not say is that I have nothing to say, I can remember, and just stop there, you know? That's very frustrating, because especially if it's to check your level of English, you may not remember, but then you say something else. Oh, I can't remember a time I failed, but I can remember once upon a time, there was a little girl. Okay, you're proud of accomplishment when you solve a problem in a creative way. Okay, teamwork. Oh, okay. Practice, practice, practice. Then you will feel more confident. All right, you can ask your colleague. Amanda is available for you. She charges very little to practice with you. All right. You can do this for each interviewer you meet during the entire process. Ask a question about the industry, about the field. Okay. Ask a question about the company. Ask a question about the job. Usually at the end of the interview, they will ask you, do you have a question for me? Do you have a question about our company? And please do have one, all right? You can ask about what is the career planning, or what is the company planning for for this year, for next year? show interest for the company, all right? Don't ask how much of vacation do we have? What are the benefits or salary? Usually, this is another moment of the interview. This moment is for you to show interest for the company. Okay? Where are the... acho que tá aqui, então, I'm sorry. It's on the paper, the sample, the weaknesses. If you would like to get I have the sample here of the
list of the weaknesses.
Yes,
I think you put it on the
I did in the beginning.
after the
Carry strengths. Aqui, passive. Yes. Okay. All right, guys. Questions, comments?
I have.
Yes.
I'm gonna try to do English, but if I couldn't, I will document for you.
Yes, no problem at all.
I think that I have a strength which is to weakness, my communication. I'm a very communicative person, but I have a real difficulty because I too hyperactive person who normally when are doing a lot of things or the people don't know me a lot, I'm seem a little body. So, for example, I can communicate clearly and do connections, and the people normally like me a lot. But to the person who don't know me a lot as my friends, I normally look a little body because
Bossy
yes.
or evasive, right? Sometimes evasive.
No.
No?
But, for example, when I'm talking, Breno is very my friend, and eu vou explicar um pouquinho em português, tá? O Breno é muito meu amigo há muitos anos e eu sou uma pessoa muito comunicativa. Só que eu também sou uma pessoa muito considerada. Então, quando eu tô conversando com pessoas, quem não me conhece muito, acha que eu sou uma pessoa super mandona e arrogante. Então, isso é uma coisa muito, muito perceptível na minha característica, na minha personalidade. E normalmente eu tento explicar muito isso em entrevista, porque vai ser claro no meu primeiro dia. No primeiro dia que eu fiz naquela entrevista, eu só perceber isso. Quando eu comecei no atual trabalho, o meu diretor chegou e me deu feedback. Uma pessoa falou que eu parecia arrogante e mandona.
E você já tentou trabalhar isso em termos de características pessoais?
Só que aí, as pessoas que me conhecem muito vezes falam, olha, ela é uma pessoa muito legal, é que ela é muito acelerada e quando ela tá falando, ela não me esquece as palavrinhas, por favor. E aí, tipo, eu tô muito horrível.
Não, então, mas é porque é um típico exemplo de work on your weakness.
Aí não, todo mundo com isso.
E o nervosismo traz problemas, né? I know, I can relate to that. Qualquer calor.
Ai, meu Deus, eu tô chorando.
Tá, se quiser a gente conversa um pouquinho mais. Eu vou liberar o pessoal, olha. Mandem um e-mail para mim, quem quis, ninguém nem anotou, nossa, quem não pegou, quiser aqui anotar o e-mail lá quiser, né, dos cursos de língua ou do business, alright? Eu trabalho com o pessoal tanto de ADM quanto de Comex. Quem não foi meu aluno no primeiro semestre no ADM ou no Comex, Certamente será no quarto semestre com inglês técnico. All right? Então, I wish you good luck, okay? If you want to exchange emails and ask further questions, please do. Feel free, and thanks for coming.